And then am I able to screen share from my, oh yes, I see
you should be able to.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome you guys. And if you're not Rachel, please mute yourself. And we are so pumped to have her here tonight. So just real quick, so I know, yes, so Rachel has May 18th, right? That's this weekend, May 18th. It's Super Saturday in Seattle. We have one here June 1st. And then I know Chelsea, who I think is maybe on, is doing there you are, Flagstaff. She has Super Saturday, June 22nd. So there's
Chelsea, you're the one. Oh, I did my master's in Flagstaff. I am going to send everybody to you. I'm so excited.
Okay, awesome. That's super good. Sorry, my lighting is awful right now. We got Jared Maples and a nutritionist and physical therapist to speak as well. And Jared just told me Nathan Maples is going to be there. So it's going to be super awesome.
Yeah, so Tracy O'Malley, right?
Yeah, and Tracy O'Malley. I had told her because I'd posted it in the Earn Your Wings. So yeah, we connected on Messenger. So for sure, I'm so excited. Send them over.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so cool. So see you guys. There's events everywhere. IsagenixARE.com. A lot of people don't know that stands for Associate Run Events. So check it out. And I'm just pumped to have Rachel here tonight, you guys. She's going to share wisdom with you. Cal actually connected us a couple months ago, and it's been so fun to have another friend, another just cross-company friend. She's amazing. She's 4-star Golden Circle, 2-star Crystal Executive, right, Rachel?
Yeah.
So 2 personally enrolled execs, Start Ambassador. She's a mom. She has a little baby. So we Marco Polo, and I see her babe all the time when we're talking back and forth. So she's going to talk to you guys. She's also running a Blitz right now, sort of like a 20 and 30, which Eric Worre recommends. So if you are looking to really amp up your business, I'm not going to steal her thunder, but just let her talk about what that looks like. She told me all the things she's good at, and I was like, yes, just cover it all. Do what you want. So I'm pumped to have you here, Rachel. Go ahead. And our team's super cash, so you can, whatever you want to say. It's fun.
I love it. I love it, team. Okay, so I'm excited to train with you guys today on something that's really transformed our business, and I'm going to screen share here in a second, but one thing that would really bless me is if you all are available. If you're driving, you get an absolute, you don't have to participate in this way, but there will be times throughout where I'll ask for your guys' input, and I like for these opportunities to feel like conversations, so that as I'm going through this, I know who it is I'm speaking with and how it's landing with you, because then I might go in a different direction, or I might focus more on one thing if it feels like you as a whole, as a group, are landing in a different spot that I'm going in. So feel free to just put your feedback in the chat, ask questions, whatever that looks like. And I know that you guys have about 30 minutes that you dedicate to this. So I will leave time at the end for questions that you guys didn't ask throughout the content, but I'm just going to jump right in. Let me make sure that we can do screen share here. This should work. So can I get a thumbs up? Do you guys see massive action on your screen? Perfect. Okay. Massive action. Oh gosh. There are so many ways that you can transform your business. And I know a lot of you, as I get to know you better in the chat, a lot of you I'm sure will resonate with some of this, but you do get to decide which strategies that you use, right? It's your business. We're just all here together as a team, kind of figuring it out as we go. If you're any parents on the call, you understand parenting is kind of a choose your own adventure, and you never really know the outcome, but you have your tribe of people that you do this life with. And that's what's cool about making those decisions and strategies. But I'm here to share with you one concept, one idea that has really changed our business. And you'll hear a little bit of my story weaved in and out of this, but I'm completely open if you guys have any specific questions about my journey. And some of you may have heard my story before. I'm happy to share any details that you need in order to be able to take a step forward in your business. That is my heart behind any time I share with people. I want to empower you and equip you to take the step that you need in your own business toward your own goals, not project my ideas on you or my guidance like, oh yeah, you should want to be an Isogenics millionaire, or you should want to be this rank. It's like, nope. Where do you want your business to land? And how do you take one step in that direction? And my heart is to help you stay there. never take a step back, but always take a step forward. Too often, and not just in this industry or in this beautiful business, too often I see people take that step forward when they feel good, and then when it doesn't feel good anymore, they just slink way back, and then they feel worse about it than when they started. And that kills me. Watching people slip out of their potential or never find it it's like a slow death to my heart. So you will hear that intention behind this content. And so feel free to ask questions from that space as well. So I'm sure that you all have had your share of business building and personal development videos, right? If you guys have your favorites, or I'm curious, what is the last one that you listened to or watched? It could be something from Isogenics. It could be something from like a personal development guru like Tony Robbins or Brendon Burchard or whomever. But what is your current flavor of personal development? I'm super curious. And for those of you who participate, throw that in the chat. But have you ever watched one for the second or third time and it just lands differently? Like listen to a podcast, read a book, watched a video, and you're like, oh yeah, seen it. And then maybe you even put it on in the background as you're doing something else because you're like, oh yeah, this information is so like last year, right? And then all of a sudden something like slips through. You're like, wait a minute, what was that? And it just lands differently on you, right? Well, I wanted to set that scene because I'm hoping some of you can relate to that. But back in August 2016, right? That's hard to believe that it's already been 2.5 years, but my husband and I had a really honest moment with each other after watching an Eric Worre video that we had watched probably 3 or 4 times already. And it was the one he did on how to recruit 20 people in 30 days, the one that Allison referenced. Anyone seen that one? It's like his webinar where he's just standing in a white room with a flip chart. I'm like, how basic and awesome is this guy, right? He doesn't need like flashy lights and stuff, just like some bald guy with a whiteboard. Great. Right? It's amazing. But we watched that video, you guys, and we had to admit that we had been building for 2 years at that point, and we weren't where we wanted to be at all. We had just been so engrossed in the motion and the mundane and the day after day of spinning our wheels, doing all the wrong income producing activities, all the things. And we had not stopped long enough to take inventory on our own business. And for whatever reason, that day in August 2016, watched that video because it came up as a suggested video on the side of my YouTube. Yeah. And I clicked on it because I was like, oh, I'll throw that on in the background. And Jeff and I were both working here in the office. And all of a sudden, it's like we both looked at each other. We're like, we could do this. Does our business need this? And that stemmed the conversation of we were not where we wanted to be. Can anyone relate to that feeling? Like you're spinning your wheels, or you're focusing on the wrong things, or you've had the same goals for a really long time because you've never achieved them? Yeah, it's time to achieve them. It's absolutely time. Even if you have to rework what those goals are, but we're going to talk about what that looks like. So what we had to realize is that we had basically been sitting on a gold mine, like all of you are. If you are in this business for more than 5 seconds, you are sitting on a gold mine. And you have all the tools that you need to be successful, but admittedly, we were not using them the way they were supposed to be used. We would like dig a little here and there, like, oh, we heard something cool, let's implement it for 5 seconds. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, let's try something different. It was awful. We were doing all these things, right? It was so messy, but we weren't really digging in. But you have to dig in and use the tools the right way. And I'm going to explain some of that to you guys today. So before I get to that, I do have to take you on a mindset journey. Okay. Yeah. You thought you were going to get off the hook and just get some tangibles and run away. No. This is all up here, 100%. I didn't just watch this webinar with Eric Worre and then it just like, I'm going to implement this with ease, right? That's not how that works. I had a lot of mental undoing that I needed to go through before anything was going to happen. But it took me about 2 years of building this. I wouldn't say it wasn't terrible. I was still making residual income, which is the beauty of how forgiving this business is. But I knew I was not reaching my potential. All right, there's that word again. I was not reaching my potential. I wasn't really digging in like I could. But I had to undo some things mentally before I was going to really be effective. And that's where my heart was. I was ready to be effective. Okay. And if you're in that space, this will land with you for sure. So I want to show you how, to do this. You have all the right tools, right? And I like to think of the analogy, if you don't have any idea how to use them, that's your mindset, right? If you have all these tools, but you're looking at them and you're like, okay, how do I do this? There's something up here that has to change before the action can change. And I like to think of the analogy of my husband is an amazing contractor. He is so talented. Like he could build anything out of anything with anything. Like think MacGyver, but not like, you know, bubblegum and pine cones to make like an explosive. It's like, oh, you just want to build this, you know, whatever. Like he builds houses and so it's amazing, like completely amazing. My garage is so filled with all the right tools to build a house. But does that mean I can walk into that garage and immediately I am equipped to build a house? Trust me, you do not want me building your house. I could design it for you, but you don't want me building it. That would be him. Okay, but before I can dig into those tools and use those tools effectively, I have to be right up here. Because if I go in and I'm like, I don't know how to build a house, but then I try to use the tools, am I going to be able to build a house? No. I have to be able to learn my way through it and think my way through it. And that's what I'm going to take you on this journey right now. So mindset shift number 1. Is it letting me switch? Oh, do you now see that one thing? Perfect. Okay, this is going to work then. We're just going to keep going. Okay, a show of hands real quick, just to get an idea of who's on the call. How many people on this call have been building for more than a year? More than a year. Okay, awesome. Let me scroll so I can see. Keep your hands up. Okay, good to know. Okay, if you've been building for more than a year, like you all saw whose hands was up, so I'm not going to make you hold your hands up the whole time. But if you've been building for more than a year, if your hand is not up and you looked at all those people who've been building for more than a year, they know something that you don't know. Okay. And I mean, it could be any amount of time too, but they know that they are drastically different now than when they started this business. Right? So think about this. I'm talking about a mindset shift that I had to have. I've been building for over a year. And so I thought that I had to have some level of success by that time and that it was just going to happen to me if I just kept plowing forward with no structure, with no anything, right? But the people who've been building more than a year, they know they are so drastically different than when they started. And they will tell you that it is the most extraordinary and challenging thing that you will ever start and continue, but they're still here, right? All those people who raised their hands, they're still here. Through all the no's, all the uncertainty, it's worth it. So that was one of the mindset shifts I had to go through before I could really dig in and do what my business needed me to do. I had to understand that all the wall kicking moments were worth it. Okay, can I get a head nod from the people who've been in this for more than a year? They're still here for a reason, okay? Own that. And so if your hand is up, that means you've been doing it long enough to feel those wall kicking moments. Like you want to quit. Like, what did I get myself into? You've been doing this long enough to feel like you have failed at some point. I can't be the only one. At 2 years in, I was like, well, I failed and this and that and the other. Like I had all these stories I was telling myself. So many times I'd kicked the wall. And I had to say, I say this out of love because I was there, right? But I had to fight that mindset then and still now. We make an amazing income for our family, and I'll go into that more later, but I still fight that all the time. And when that's an exaggeration. When I say all the time, I want to be intentional with my words. I fight it often enough to still talk about it and talk to people about having their mindset equipped, okay? And so that's what I want to share with you is how to get over that mindset. So I want everyone to grab a pen. Again, if you're driving, you are exempt. Please don't grab a pen. Keep your hands on the wheel. Okay, pen. For the sake of visuals, I like to be cheesy and awesome. This is a magic pen, okay? Some of you are like, who is this lady? This is a magic pen. Now imagine with this pen, as I throw mine on the desk, imagine with this pen that you can have one do-over in your business. Anything you want from the last year, okay? So if you've only been building for 6 months, the last 6 months, whatever that is, but one do-over in the last year, what is that one thing you would do more of or less of? One thing that you would change that would have completely shifted your business had you done it. I want you to write it down. It can be one word. You can draw a picture. I don't care. However you communicate with yourself. What is that one thing? Remember, this magic pen, as soon as you touch it to paper, you get one do-over in your business. I'm sorry for any of you who think that actually will happen for sake of visual. Okay. I see some of you hesitating, and I think I know why. When I first did this exercise with myself, remember, this is me going through a mindset shift, and I'm taking you on this journey. When I first did this exercise with myself, I instantly thought of things like connecting with more people and following up with everyone and being more consistent with my personal development, right? Then I would immediately think, no, that can't be it. That's too simple. And if it's that simple, I would have done it. Okay, you guys, I'm here to tell you that this business is simple, and that one thing you wish you could change about your business, like how you would have shown up in your business, is simple. Okay, I thought it had to be something difficult and new, something that nobody had struggled with before, and I was pioneering some like new level of hard, you know, something sexy that no one's ever dealt with. No, don't be afraid to admit that what you wish you could change is simple. That is huge. That was so huge for me. I spent 2 years thinking that my journey had to be different. It had to be special. But heck to the no, it is so simple. And I was unwilling to admit that because that would mean I had to take ownership. Okay, but what a great problem to have. Your fix in your business, whatever that one thing is that you want to shift to implement into this new year, is simple. It really is. Now, scary can sometimes be synonymous with simple, and that's okay too. Okay, I love one of Peter Kelly's quotes, and I'm sure she got it from somewhere else, but she said, fear is peeing your pants and courage is doing it with wet pants. Great, it's simple. Do it with wet pants. Now, in the chat, I would love to know what you guys wrote down. So if you're willing, please share what you wrote down as that one thing. Some of you broke the rules and wrote like 10 things. That's cool. I'm with you. I do the same stuff. But just throw one thing out there. What is that? What is one thing in your business? And I want to make sure it's letting me pull up my chat here. One thing in your business that you would change. I'm going to put the chat right over here so I can keep an eye on it. Okay, so as you guys are writing that down, I want you to understand that what you wrote down is so valuable because it's what your business needs. I think too often we look to other people to tell us what our businesses need, and that's great to have mentors. It's great to have guidance. It's great to expose yourself and go to events. Holy cow, events. Who just went to ICU, right? I cannot wait. I'm going in October. I couldn't go to this last one, but I'm like out of my mind jacked. I love events. Okay, it's so valuable to listen to what your business needs because it's your business. Nobody can tell you what it needs. They can give you ideas and maybe they're right, but ultimately you get to decide, right? You need to start thinking of your business as a relationship that you care about, that you want to nurture. You can't build a strong relationship that weathers every storm by thinking about it all the time. Guilty for 2 years. Strength in relationship takes action. Okay, that's why I wanted you to identify that one thing. So starting today, make these shifts in your business, and it can be so little, you know? So think about it like this. Think about that one person in Isogenics. Just like pick somebody that you admire most, right? It could be someone you've never talked to before. It could be somebody that is on your own team, whatever it is, like someone you super admire in Isogenics, someone whose business you would trade with in a heartbeat. You'd be like, heck yeah, I'll take that person's business, okay? If you spent a whole month with that person, watching everything they do, taking all the notes, you would still never get to a 10 out of 10 in belief in yourself or in yourself doing network marketing until you take what you learned and put it into action. Okay, this was that mindset. Remember, it's still a mindset journey. You're still in mindset journey number 1. Okay, that's how deep we're digging right now. Until you put it into action, you will never be a 10 out of 10. You can't wait until you're a 10 to get into action because you can never be a 10 without the action. Does this make sense? Right? I see so many people getting ready to get ready, and that was me for 2 years. Now, for some of you, your story is different. Some of you have felt that lull or that weirdness or that stagnant feeling in your business for like a couple weeks or maybe a couple months, or maybe you're brand new and you want to be proactive about these lulls in businesses. They happen, right? Okay, I bet you all my residual income that Allison feels the same way I do about this. You have to be in action, you guys. Oh, okay. I do this because I care. I think I have Italian in me somewhere. Okay, I give you permission. I do. I give all of you permission. You guys are beautiful. I love seeing your faces. This is why I love things like this instead of recording videos, because I get to like see the people that I want to make an impact on. But I give you permission just to get into action. It can be messy, hot mess action. I don't care. But action is what is going to make that shift. And I'm going to tell you a secret about this industry. You ready? Right, you might want to write this down. I learned this from Eric Worre. You can learn any skill you need in this business in one day. What? One day? I heard that. I'm like, no. What? You won't be good at it in one day. Yep, there's the catch. There's always a catch. You won't be good at it in one day, but you can learn enough to take one step and get better in one day. And then take another step, get better. And then there's another day. Take another step. You can learn what you need to learn in one day to take one step. That is all you have to do. Okay? I'm hoping this is landing with you guys, because I think too often in this industry and, being an entrepreneur and all of that, we talk so much about like just big, massive things that you have to do. You have to move mountains. And even the word massive action, you're like, this huge thing I have to take on. Nope. Massive action starts with one step, just like minor action does, right? Everything is one step. Okay. So give yourself permission to take charge in your business. Okay. You get it. Okay. Next. So the next mindset shift I had to take, this is mindset shift number 2. Oh, and yes, of course, there's a slide that goes with it. It's really dark on my side. Can you see that? You can see the visual, but can you see the numbers and the text a little bit? Okay, I'm gonna.
But I mean, I can read it.
Okay, I'll read it to you guys. I don't know why, because I have it on a separate screen, and it's not that color on my screen. So I'll read it to you. Okay, so on average, so it says 1357 at the top. This is one of my favorite things that I've learned from this webinar that Eric Worre taught. On average, it takes 1 year in network marketing, right? 1 year to profit on any level. So this is, you're getting your products paid for, and any events you're going to are covered. And then you're making money on top of that, okay? That's an average of about a year. Now, I'm not saying this to discourage any of you who've been doing this less than a year and you're like, oh, a whole year? A year? You guys, Google residual income if you've forgotten how epic this is, but residual income has to start this way to be as impactful as it is, okay? And then 3 years to go full time. Now, there's some debate on this about like what that means numbers wise, but I would say like a steady full-time income for the average family, it takes an average of 3 years to get to that space. 5 years to earn a high income, right? So maybe an income that's beyond kind of what the average American home needs. And then 7 years to become world-class. 1357. And I can send this presentation, these slides to Allison so you can see them better and you can have this information. But yeah, so 1357, you guys. In the chat, I would love to know, where are you at? 1357. Some of you are at a 2 or a 4 or a 6 or an 8. I don't know how long you've been in this, but where are you at in your build? How many years are you in right now? And I want you to understand the average, right? This is on average for people who are building consistently. This is the average across the board, okay? Okay, so perfect. 2 years, 2 years, 4 years, just finished year 1, 5, 1 year. I love it. Okay, so I'm assuming since you're all on Allison's team, you've all been doing this 5 years or less. That would probably be, okay, perfect. So, exciting things are coming, you guys. Okay, in my first 2 years, you just heard part of my story. Head bashing moments, like, is this worth it, right? If you're willing to be transparent, and you can message me separately too, but how many people have ever thought, is this worth it? Is it worth it? Remember what we talked about earlier, all the people who've been here longer than a year? Yes, because I wish I had kept a tally of how many times I have cried in the last 5 years, and I'm still here. 3 babies later, still doing it, making a really darn good income too. Okay, I'll get into that. 3 months, 1 month, 4 months. You monthers are my favorite. I'm like, ooh, yeah, you still like starry-eyed. You're what keeps us old timers going, because we love it. We love those in the beginning stages. Okay, so how many of you would agree? You can just throw your hands up in the air, or if you want to throw it in the chat, you can. But how many of you would agree that we have world-class products, company, leadership, right? Everything. If you just went to ICU, your belief is solid. Like, we are in the right place. It doesn't take 7 years to become world class, like what it says on the slide that you can't read. It doesn't take 7 years to become world class because of isogenics. That's already there. That's how long it takes to build you and you and you and me, right? 7 years. That's how long it takes consistently pouring yourself into personal development, consistently in action in your business with whatever that looks like to you. It's not everyone. Consistent to one person is not the same to the other. Okay. And I can dive into more of that later, but I just want to make sure that you guys are understanding and not comparing yourself to me or to Allison or anyone else. Your journey is your journey. Okay. But think back to when you first started, when you first got it, right? It was probably because you heard some success story and you thought, oh, I can do that too. And it's true. But the reality is that most of us are average, right? So we have to get out of this mindset. Remember, I'm talking to me. This is my mindset journey. Number 2 mindset journey that I went on. We have to get out of this mindset that we are doing something wrong because we aren't a millionaire in 2 years. What? I'm going on 5 years. I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm average. Okay. We have to stop the lie that being average is bad. And by saying yes to this opportunity, you all are already a part of an elite percentage of people who have an elevated way of thinking. Being average up here is already putting you way ahead of the curve. Okay. I did not get that by year 2. Year 2, after really getting into action and implementing this Blitz, which yes, I'll get to the Blitz, don't you worry. But this is important. We have to layer that mindset. Being average is not bad. Okay. This was so hard for me to overcome mentally because I was that person in school who turned in work early. I was the teacher's pet, overachiever, yada, yada, all the haters, whatever. So much unnecessary pressure I put on myself. Getting a C on anything, AKA average, right? C is an average. That felt like death to me. I had to really work on telling myself that being average in this industry is not getting a C on my isogenics report card. I can't even tell you how many times I said that to myself. Hey, you're not getting a C on your isogenics report card. Okay, some of you might think I'm neurotic, but I bet there's part of you that's like, oh my gosh, so-and-so just hit millionaire in 2 years. I'm making $500 extra a month. What's wrong with me? $500 extra residual income is amazing. Okay, and that's average. That's average. What people are doing who are actually building this. But by implementing a Blitz in my business, I was able to fully and confidently embrace my average. You want to know something that's awesome about being average? Yeah, you probably do. So later this summer, it will have been 5 years since I started building this business. So right about where Allison's at. And as of today, 4.5 years in, I make more in a week than I did in an entire month working 12-hour days, 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week at a university with a master's degree. Okay, let me say that again. I make more in a week, in 1 week. This is 5 years, okay? I make more in a week than I did in an entire month working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week at a university, and I have my master's degree. I have quadrupled my income with and for my family, not just for them, but with them. So I got to embrace that it feels really good to be average. Okay. And if any of you struggle with that, like comparison and overachieving, embrace the average because this is a journey. And I promise you at year 5, are there times where I'm like, man, I'm not making the money I want to make? Oh yeah, still. Allison, are you guys? Yeah, still, right? Because we want more and it's okay to want more because we get to have more. I never once wanted more money when I worked for $28,000 a year with a master's degree. Sorry, that's crime right there. I worked 12-hour days and I was making $28,000 a year and I had my master's. Grueling job, so much fun. I loved it, but super grueling. Okay. I never was like, oh no, I don't need more money because that was the top of my income tier. Now it's okay to want more because it's there and because good people can become millionaires and they do good things with money. Okay. That's a whole nother talk. I'm like fired up. Okay. Hopefully you can see this next slide. Well, shoot. Okay. You know what I'm going to do then? I'm going to stop my screen share real quick because
you can like read that. I can read that.
Oh, you can? Okay. Because on mine, for whatever reason, it's super dark. But if you guys can read it, I'll keep going. Okay, perfect. So network marketing is not the tortoise and the hare. So we have this idea that we need to give it a little every day and that will be successful. And while consistency is key, it's rarely all you need to have massive success if that's what you're looking for. Massive success to you could be $500 a month. It could be $500 a week. To my husband, it's $500 an hour. He is like way up there. I'm like, woo, we make like X thousands of dollars a week. This is great. And he's like, more. But that's great, right? But Eric Worre interviewed 6 and 7 figure income earners. Anyone on here want to be a 6 or 7 figure income earner? Yeah, it's awesome. Okay. The common thread between all these people is that they blitzed. He found, I think it was like a 90-day period of time was like the common thread between all these people. They all did what we call like a 90-day action plan. And somewhere in that 90 days, most of them enrolled an average of 20 people in a 30-day period of time. So he did the research, asked the questions, found the number and structure needed to help people get there. And I'll show you those in just a moment. But what you need to know is that network marketing is not the tortoise and the hare. It's an airplane. Okay. And I love this analogy because if you're going at 40% all the time, your airplane's going to move, right? And you're making progress. And that's awesome if you feel good there. If you don't feel good there, honor that nudge to get into massive action. Okay. Because that's how you get off the ground. You will not get off the ground until you hit 100% for a small amount of time, right? Does anyone know? You can pop it in the chat. I think airplanes use like 80% of their fuel just in takeoff. Some obscene number like that. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, that makes me uncomfortable. Apparently they don't need that much fuel to fly the plane, just to take off. Okay, but this is important because your dreams don't live down here, right? They live up here. And the only way you're going to get up there is by launching your business off the ground. You have to give it that 100% of energy and focus in a blitz, which is a short amount of time. It is not a year of working like an obscenely crazy person. You can do that, but those are the people who are probably making millionaire in 3 to 5 years. They also have prior network marketing experience. They have all these things that we don't see and talk about. But if you want to have an average network marketing business where you get to make a 6-figure income after about 5 years of your life, building in the pockets of your time, being consistent and having passion, this is it. This is it. This is what you get to do. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a bonus mindset shift as I've updated this content in the last few years since I first put this together. But I want to say that blitzing works for any goal. Okay. I don't believe everyone should want to be an Isogenics millionaire. And I hope this doesn't go against anything that Allison has taught you guys or trained on. But I understand that it's easy to want to be an Isogenics millionaire, and some people make it look so simple, right? We love those people, but we want to shake them too. But the income that will change your life is the income that will change your life, not somebody else's. Okay, you don't have to want somebody else's goals for your business. I really want you guys to hear me on this. It took me way too long to understand and accept this. My aunt is an Isogenics millionaire. I think she's number like 76. That was like 200 millionaires ago. Okay, she's an old school millionaire. And even though I do want to be an Isogenics millionaire someday, I don't blitz to get there. I blitz to feed my kids. I blitz to take my husband on dates. I blitz to bring my dad to Fenway Park, right? He had that dream for 50 years and I was able to do that for him last year. Blitz for what lights you up, what makes you excited. And if you feel me, type yes, because too often I think we adopt other people's goals and think they should be our own. And then our business doesn't move because we are not fired up to do it, right? You can only be fired up for someone else's goals for so long. That goes for couples too. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I see the heart, but I don't see the text. So look at all the yes. Yeah, see you guys, you feel it. Good, I'm so glad. Okay, so what's in it for you? Can you guys see the text on this slide? Kind of? Okay, I apologize, you guys. That's a bummer, but you can look at the pretty heart on the picture. So what's in it for you? What will you get out of this blitz? How many of you have ever worked for someone else? And how many of those now work for yourself, your vision, your family, etc.? You have an income with Isogenics on any level. Okay, so there's something that we all know that nobody else knows yet. Okay, because some of you are still working for somebody else. Some of you love what you do. Keep doing it. But also do this so that you can have the extra money to play with and do fun things with, or whatever your goal is. Because I do believe residual income belongs in every home. But working for yourself is cool. It's also really hard. Okay, when you work for someone else, you are given a structure and standards to live up to. You're told what to do and when to do it, right? Then Isagenix comes along and it takes the ceiling off and it's like, do whatever you want, no more limits. And your brain falls out of your head. At least mine did. I was like, huh? What does that mean? What do you mean? Well, okay, you have to create your own structure. So even someone who is super organized like myself, I struggle with the intangibility of this business. But this Blitz gave me structure and it made it tangible for me. Okay. So what's in it for you? Number one, a Blitz will make your business feel more tangible. All right. The second thing that a Blitz will do for you, it will help you treat your business like a business. And that is so refreshing. It's so refreshing to finally get out of that like hobby mentality and just dig in like this is a business. When you treat it like a business, does that mean it has to take up 10 hours of your day? No. Can it? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure the mathies are like, yeah, 10 hours a day have been there. Yeah, even with kids. Are you kidding me? Yeah, 10 hours, that's nothing. Okay, we've all been there. You will have some 10-hour days. You just will. But being able to treat this like a business, even if it's 2 hours a day or 5 hours a day or 20 hours a week, spread out however you want to, that makes this the perfect job. You get to have the freedom, the relationships, the unlimited income, and you can give the structure and tangibility. Okay, treat it like a business. That's what this Blitz will help you do. The third thing that it will do for you, that you will get out of doing a Blitz, being able to take yourself seriously as a network marketing professional. This is so important for your confidence. Even powerhouses in your life have to work every day to maintain their belief as a network marketing professional. I guarantee you, because I talk to a lot of Isagenix millionaires. You are not born a network marketing professional. It's not like how you're born a human and you're always a human. As a network marketing professional, you are self-made, which means you have to create yourself as that professional, which means you need to be in action and see yourself doing it. This Blitz, a Blitz will give that to you. You are your own employee. Before you can be your own boss, you have to see the work done. That's how you can take yourself seriously as a network marketing professional. Okay. And you're all here right now because you want this. You being here is the growth, but you getting off this call and putting it into action is you being a network marketing professional. That's how you're working on it. You can show up for calls and listen to all the podcasts. Action is the next step, literally and figuratively. Okay. All right. So if you don't take value from a podcast and apply it, it dies. Right? It goes in a pretty notebook and it dies. And you get no closer to your vision. Okay, the fourth thing that you will get out of doing a Blitz is unshakable belief. Oh, if you're like me at all, you have shed tears over this one. Okay? And if you have shed tears over this, I'm with you. I feel you. I want you to think about who you want to be and how you want to be talked about when you're not around. Okay? And the truthful stuff from the people who you actually respect. Yeah, there's haters and they're important to your journey, but we're going to ignore them for now. How do you want to be talked about by people you respect when you're not around? Okay. Like I want you to imagine you're standing in front of somebody, you're looking into their eyes and everything that you're saying is igniting the room, right? You're powerful and your message, your energy, all of it, you're exuding strength and belief. And that's unshakable belief in yourself. And you may not have it in network marketing right now, but you have it in something in your life and you can practice with that, right? For me, I could talk about being a mom to toddlers emphatically. I can be very passionate about being a mom to toddlers. Knowing my journey is different than a lot of other people's, and that's fine. But you get me talking about my kids and all the craziness that is being a mom of young children, you better believe I'm going to ignite the room, literally and figuratively. Okay. Like you just have to be able to create that. A Blitz will give that to you. Okay. Now, does that feeling just stay? No. Unshakable belief comes and goes, but once you know how to get it, it's so much easier to wake up and grab it. Okay. But you have to know what it feels like and how to get there first before you can go down that road again. Right. It's like once you've been, did anyone have that friend who lives out in the middle of nowhere? And like getting to their house is obnoxious. You're like, every time I have to ask for your address and I still think my GPS is wrong. And then, I found you. After you go there a couple of times, you're like, I got this. You're still a little shaky. But after like 20 times, you're like, I can do this with my eyes closed. That's what a Blitz gives you. Okay. Nothing boosts your confidence like seeing yourself in massive action. Think about how sexy it is when you see somebody else in massive action doing anything. And you're like, dang, look at you go. That's how you're going to feel about yourself. Okay. All right. Hopefully this next one shows up for you guys. Ooh, I see that. Do you guys see that? Yes. This is the important one. The numbers. Okay. So finally, the tangibles. Those were the mindset shifts I had to go through, and I hope those landed with you guys in some way that you can take with you. Now, to do a blitz, this is 100% based on Eric Worre's numbers that he gave in his webinar. So you may have seen these before, but I can tell you with confidence and experience, I have done these and they work, okay? So when I first did this, we decided in August 2016, the next month, September, I implemented this 20 and 30. And because of life, I had a 5-month-old at the time. So I'm going to just like throw that caveat out there. Ours ended up being 6 weeks. We still enrolled 18 people. 18 people in 6 weeks, not too shabby. We also rank advance at the time. We were cycling consistently. I'm going to just insert disclaimer here since it's recorded. Insert disclaimer, income disclaimer, all of, okay. We were cycling about probably 4 to 6 times consistently. And that was like, we'd have our low week, right? Everyone dreads that low week in their month where we were cycling like, oh, a two cycle week. And then if we had a 4 to 6 cycle week, we were like, oh, hey, date night. Like, woo, we get to stretch this week. But after doing this blitz, we rank advanced to 2-star. Okay. So we'd already hit 1-star previously. Remember, this was 3 years ago. We'd hit 1-star a few months before, and that was like epic because we finally had a builder and all of that. After doing this blitz, our business shot up to 2-star, and then our lowest cycle week since then has been, we have never gone below double digits since then. Okay, so that's my story. Insert disclaimer, you will have progress with this, okay? So your list should be about 300 people. From that, you're going to call 150. Take a picture of the slide if you have to so that you can just be present. But what that means is you're not picking up the phone and calling all these people. This is sending out a text message, sending out a Facebook message, meeting someone for coffee, whatever that is. You're reaching out to set an appointment with 150 people. You're going to set about 90 appointments from this, okay? Now, you're like, wait, what happened to the 150? Does everybody respond to you? Do you ever see that on the Facebook message where it's like, seen last Wednesday, and they're ghosting you, give up? That's what I interpret that to say. But that, when it says seen and then they never respond to you, yeah, you're going to get some of those, and that's okay, right? I do that to people unintentionally, so don't tell yourself a story about it, but you're going to have about 90 appointments from that. And from those 90 appointments, including following up because people won't answer and resetting appointments 20 times, all the things, right? You will get to present Isagenix about 60 to 70 times. You will, from that, on average, you will get to change about 20 lives. You will be able to enroll about 20 people. Now, Allison, are you in my Blitz group? You're in there, right? The 6-week Blitz? Okay. Allison has my full permission to add all of you who want to be in that group. I changed the Blitz to fit my life right now because when I did this 20 and 30, I had a 3-year-old who napped twice a day for 2.5 hours a time. Awesome. And I had a 5-month-old who was perfectly happy. I can be real, right? I had my boob in her mouth, like pretty much the whole Blitz, the whole time, okay? So that's how I did my Blitz. I had a 3-year-old who napped like a badass and a baby who just was like, sure, I'll hang out here all day long. That's how I did this. My life looks very different now. I now have a 3rd baby who's 4 months old, and I have a 5-year-old who has a lot of activities and friends, and a 3-year-old who hates to nap. Hates it. Like with a fiery passion. So my life looks different, and we have 2 more businesses now. A little bit different. So I changed it to be what fits my life, that will keep me sane, that will also not make my family implode. So Allison has my full permission to add any of you to that if you would like to see these numbers broken down into something that can fit life inside of it. Because when I first did my 20 and 30, I literally said no to everything else. Oh, you want to go out for coffee, but you don't want to do Isagenix? I love you. Let's talk in October, because this is a business, and the people who are really in your life, don't be a jerk about it, but just be like, hey, this month is like full on business launching month. I cannot wait to tell you all about it next month. I'm going to put you in my calendar right now. So I want to make sure that we schedule this time because I love you, but I got to focus right now and help launch our business off the ground because I want to feed my family every week with my Isagenix income. Have that kind of conviction, right? And then people aren't going to care. They're going to be like, woo, and be like, so send me referrals and I'll buy you coffee, right? Like, make it fun, make it like whatever you have to do, but the people who really want to support you will, okay? Okay, so I hope you guys all got a chance to take a picture of that. So I like to ask when. You know, we talk about why, how, what all the time, but you have to ask yourself when. When will you do this? And I would be willing to bet that every person who has ever stepped on stage or poured into a podcast, they did so because they believed that they would spark at least one person to move in the direction that they want to move in. Like if I knew that despite everything I'm pouring into you tonight, you would still hop off this call and do nothing with it, do you think I'd still be here? No, I'm here because I want to say when. When will you do this? And, you know, I do this because I know that I know what it takes to be successful in this business on the level that I need to be successful in it, right? I want to be able to give you what you need to take that next step. I can't give you everything you need between here and 50 steps from now, right? I can give you one step at a time. The next step is when. You now have all this other information that you can then take and decide that you want to take steps after that. But I'm going to encourage you all to decide when you're going to do this because your why is waiting for you. Okay. And if you don't know what your why is, that's not a reason to be stuck. Then you get to ask yourself, okay, I'm just going to do this and figure out my why along the way because I hear too many people. I did it too for 2 years. It's like, well, I don't know why I want this. Oh, I'm going to try this. Oh, I'm going to try that. No. Just do it. Do it for other people. Do it because people are praying for what you have. Do it because people are in pain because someone right now in your life is out of their mind, depressed, exhausted, so just like they've given up hope. You know, they feel so locked out of their closet, their body, feeling good about themselves, and you have a solution for them. And even though you're like, oh, I don't know my why or how much I want to make with this. Okay, figure that out later. Get into action when you're willing to do it for that other person too, okay? Your why, other people's why, everything is waiting. So Allison, I'll pass it back to you. Thank you guys so much for having me, but I'm happy to take any questions before you wrap up the call. I know we went a few minutes over.
Yes, that was so good, Rachel. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Rachel's Instagram and Facebook. Seriously, you guys, this is just like the tactical stuff. And we have Say, Share, Do. We have scripts everywhere. We have like what to say and how to connect. We've done so much of that, but she just like really gave us the numbers. So I appreciate it so much. If you guys have questions, throw it in the chat. Otherwise, yes, and these numbers do work out. I can think about, the specific times in our business when we've just infused a whole group full together and it feels so much better than when they come in trickling, so it's just awesome. Just awesome. Literally your dreams are the only thing between you and your dreams is the number of conversations, the number of appointments you set, all of that, exactly what she said. So any questions? Some people loving the numbers? Otherwise,
I am not able to unshare my screen for some reason.
Here,
so if you want to.
Yep, I got you. Yep.
Okay, because I can't pull up the chat now either. So I want to be able to see if people have.
Yeah, see if you can. I'll try this. That should have unshared for you.
Yes. Okay.
I can stop share. Okay, there you go. Okay, so any final questions?
Here's what I'll do real quick, Allison, if you don't mind just hanging on for 1 second. I'll put the link to the group in the chat real quick so that you guys can just pull it right open.
Cool.
That way, Allison,
and I wrote it all down too, so we'll make sure that you're in the group. Okay, Holly, that was yes for you. Okay, so yeah, just do it, you guys. Action breeds results, breeds belief, breeds action, breeds results, breeds more belief. It's just through the process. So awesome. Rachel, we appreciate you so much. She has 3 littles, like bedtime over there. She's 7:50 where she is. So yeah.
Oh, my baby's screaming upstairs. I can hear him right now.
Awesome.
I gotta go.
Yes. No, thank you so much. So yeah, join that group. Otherwise I'll double check that you're all in. And she's just been awesome. And say hi to her in Nashville when we're there. Okay.
Bye guys.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you everyone. Have a good night. Bye you guys.